Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Sorry, there's a reflection in my glasses from my Diva light, which I'm going to be talking about today. So my name is JoAnna Sacco, and I'm your mindset mentor. And the other day I posted in my mindset mentoring group requests for videos and what topics you guys wanted me to discuss. So today I'm going to be talking about Facebook Lives. I know that Facebook is an amazing tool for us to be able to grow our businesses and to connect with a lot of people that we might not normally connect with. So if you are not utilizing your social media to its fullest potential, you're definitely missing out on some growth possibility. So let's look at what are some of the fears behind that, right? Because usually there's some kind of a fear that is holding us back from using that. So what is it? Are you afraid to be seen? Are you afraid to be heard? Are you afraid of judgment from others, or being salesy or pushy, or just judgment from others? People are pretty judgmental out there, right? So that can definitely be inhibitory to us just taking the plunge and doing some lives. So first I just want to talk about why you want to do Facebook Lives. So you want to connect with your audience. You want to connect with the person who could potentially be a business builder with you or a customer of yours. So what you want to do is really have a clear vision of the kind of people that you are wanting to attract. So how old are they? What do they do for a job? Do they have kids? Where do they work? What's their schedule like? What are all the different things that make up their personality, make up their life? Because that's who you're going to be talking in your Facebook Lives. You're going to be targeting an audience that is specific to the kind of people who you want either as your customers or as your business partners. So have that very crystal clear image of who that person is. And then that is where you get your inspiration for your topics, because you want to feel like when you're doing your Facebook Live, you're talking to that person. So when they're on the other side watching, they're like, wow, I feel like, Peggy's talking to me. Like, how does she know that I feel like that? Or how does she know that this is something I struggle with? How does she know that I might need, this or that? So that is why when you have like that image crystal clear, you're going to have a lot more effective Facebook Lives. The other thing is you want to have variety and you want to have intention with your lives. So don't just get on there and sell and promote, because that's going to turn people off. They want to know you. They want to get to know you, especially on Facebook. People follow people. They don't follow brands as much as, like, for example, on Instagram. So Instagram, people gravitate towards that more for following a brand and making purchases. People are a lot more apt to make purchases on like an Instagram, whereas Facebook is more about the person. So that is where you want to show up. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Peggy. That is where you want to show up and be your authentic self and truly show people you. You want to talk about you. What's important to you? What makes you unique? Because people buy people, not products. Let me explain that. So there's a lot of people out there who are selling what we sell, right? From what your company sells, what you do. And when they're making a decision about who to invest with, they're going to think about the person. They're going to think about who's showing up, who's consistent, who's adding value to their lives. So this is what you want to do on your Facebook Lives. You want to add value to people's lives. So whether it's something funny, like people love funny Facebook Lives. Some of my most viewed Facebook Lives are like the most ridiculous things that I've ever done. Like, one time I had this Chewbacca mask. My son got this Chewbacca mask. Do you guys remember those Chewbacca masks where you open your mouth and the thing goes, wah, wah, wah? And I was like in my kitchen alone, and I was eating this sweetbread in this Chewbacca mask in my pajamas. And he taped me, and then we put it on Facebook, and it was like ridiculous and semi-embarrassing, but that got over 2,000 views, and it got shared because it was funny. So now, like, yeah, did that help my business? Yes and no. It didn't help my business because it wasn't like I was talking about, my product or me or anything like that, but it bumped my algorithm up and it got exposure. So with Facebook, it's all about those algorithms. You want to stay at the top of of people's news feeds, right? And the way you do that is by posting content that people engage with. So that is the other thing, is you want to be posting content that is going to get watched, that's going to get commented on, and that's going to get shared. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about your business, but it has to be something that's going to make people want to follow you, because guess what? Now when you post something about your business, they're going to be seeing that way more than if you didn't. So that is why Facebook Lives are so much more important. I don't know what the statistics are now, but it was at one point, it was something like Facebook Lives are 4 to 6 times more seen than just a post on Facebook. So get out of your head, stop having this fear about what people are going to think of you, or, you know, feeling like you need to be an expert, or feeling like you need to have the perfect live video, or, you know, look perfect, speak perfectly, be a great public speaker. You don't. You want to be your authentic self, and you want to show people your life, show people what you're doing. You know, if you're on a fitness journey, talk about your fitness journey, talk about what you're eating, talk about what you're doing. If you have kids, talk about your kids. If you have grandkids, you know, talk about how being a grandmother is different than being a mother, or something like that. If you knit, you know, show people, do a tutorial on knitting. If you have animals, you know, talk about your animals. Like, there's just all these things that go into making us who we are as individuals, and that's what people want to see on these lives. And when talking about your business, like when talking about different products, talk about things that are important to you. So what you're passionate about. It's not about going out there and being like, oh, I'm having a sale, like, you know, here's this great whatever. Like, talk about how that product changed your life. Speak to their pain, because everybody's either running away from pain or running towards pleasure. So again, you're going to have that image of, here's who I'm talking to, because here's my target audience, and here's probably what they're struggling with, right? Here's probably a pain in their life, and here's how my product is going to change that pain, how it's going to transform their life. So that's what you want to be talking about. It's not about getting on there and being like, oh, we're having a BOGO, or, you know, here's this on promotion, or here's whatever. Speak to that need. So again, like figure out who that person is and make them feel like you are talking right to them. So they're like, wow, she knows exactly what, you know, what I need. And oh my gosh, now I need that product, because look at, you know, look at how it changed her life. Or if it hasn't changed your life, like, speak to a testimony from somebody who you know. So we don't have to have these crazy transformational like stories personally, but we have to be able to share how it can, you know, change something within their life. So for me, like, I don't have like, for those of you guys who are not part of doTERRA, so that's the company that I'm with, is Essential Oils, and I don't have some like crazy mind-blowing story, but I speak to a lot of mothers, because we all struggle with things like ear infections, or kids not sleeping, or growing pains, or whatever else. And so I speak to that stuff, because that's in a lot of ways my target audience is moms. So I will, you know, talk about my child who has sensory issues, and what I do to help him, and provide value that's just not your product as well. So when I do a video on like my sensory kiddo, like, yes, I talk about oils and how I incorporate those into our life, but I also give other tidbits of information, things that we do as well. So they see that I'm a whole rounded person, not just somebody who's getting on there to like sell my product. So provide massive value to people, show them your authentic self. Make sure your video is, you know, where people can hear you clearly. So you can invest in like a microphone if you want to. I didn't until just recently, but you can buy a microphone that hooks up to your computer or to your phone. And I love my Diva light. So if you don't have an area in your house where you have good lighting, a Diva light is awesome. So let me show you what my Diva light looks like. So it is right there. So that is a Diva light. It's basically a light ring that I put on a tripod, and it creates like a uniform round light that shows my face. So I'm going to turn it off so you guys can see what it would look like if I didn't have to leave a light. Hang on 1 second. Okay, ready? See that? See that? Like, it's a huge difference. Like, things are just grainier. They're not as professional looking. And not that you need your videos to be like some professional looking thing, but it just gives it that little bit more of appeal and like just visual appeal that people might be like drawn to. And they might be like, wow, like she's, you know, she's serious. She's somebody I want to watch and follow. So I'm going to turn that light back on so you guys can see it. And again, just, you know, take them with you. Like, you don't have to do all your Facebook lives from like this one area where you have everything set up and stuff. Like, another live that I did recently was after I got out of the gym, and I was in my car and I was like sweaty and gross and like shaky, and my camera was shaky because I was holding up the phone. But people love that because they want to see what you're doing. They want to see your journey. They want to be like, wow, like she's a real person. She's not just somebody who sits behind a camera with perfect lighting and, you know, whatever else. So does anybody have any questions about what goes into a Facebook Live and how you get inspiration for it and how to just kind of overcome that fear? If you do, feel free to message me or comment on here after, and I will definitely respond, because this was a huge fear of mine, is doing the lives. I actually really don't like public speaking, believe it or not. And putting myself out there is a little bit scary, but I know that if I don't, I will be missing a huge growth opportunity, and I will be missing an opportunity to help others. So I have to think about that too. Like that sensory video that I did about my child, like I hope that it could even just help one person, right? One child. Maybe they're not sleeping well. Maybe their mom is stressed out, and maybe they saw something in there and tweaked their life a little bit. And because of that video, because of me taking that bold action and like putting myself out there, they got a little nugget of information, they tweaked their life, and now their life is just slightly better. So think about that. Think about how you literally have the opportunity to change people's lives, and you have an opportunity to connect with people you normally wouldn't, because Facebook is huge. You know, you can be in other countries, you can be in other states, you can be everywhere. So I hope this helped you guys. How prepared do you get? Do you improvise your script? No, Laura, I really don't. And I think for me, this is the part where it's like my authentic self kind of comes out. Like, I mean, generally I think about what I want to talk about. And it's different for different groups too. Like, you know, mindset stuff with you guys, like I'm way more prepared for it. Like I'll actually do research about it. I'll have an outline and things like that. So it also depends on your own personal learning style. So some people are really great at like getting on and just talking and, you know, knowing what they want to say. So if that's you, awesome. I tend to go off on tangents if I don't prepare slightly. So I will have a little bit of like a outline. And just to kind of keep myself on point. So I don't like, you know, write out like scripts, but I will be like, okay, I want to make these 3 points. This is what's important, and that's it. So that way it just keeps me on time and it keeps me focused, because otherwise I could just be like, you know, on there for hours going off on tangents and then get off and be like, oh, I should have said that. So definitely don't want to do that. I feel like my life isn't exciting enough to share with others, or can't think of anything in particular to talk about. Well, then you got to think about who your target audience is and start, you know, researching some things that they might be interested in. So this is where you have to get crystal clear. This is where, you know, having that like vision board, which I know you're doing, like stuff like that is going to help you connect with that target audience. So for example, you can talk about, you know, RVing or vacations or mission work, or I don't know, what you love to do. Think about what you're passionate about. Brainstorm. Just write down a list of topics that you're passionate about, and then just start talking about those. You know, say, get on a Facebook Live and talk about how you read an article about X, Y, and Z, and how you're like excited to start implementing some of that into your own life, or anything. I mean, anything. And they don't have to be super long. Like, keep them 5 minutes and under, because most people are more likely to like watch something that's 5 minutes. And the other thing too is, if you're nervous about doing a Facebook Live, is invite a buddy to join you. So for example, you know, say to your friends, say to your business partner, say to whoever, hey, I'm going on a Facebook Live at this time. Can you be on to be my audience? So then you're not feeling like, oh my gosh, there's nobody on with me. And then you can also actually ask them to ask you specific questions to kind of keep that conversation going and keep you on track. So yeah, you can definitely be intentional with things. Yeah, I loved doing that in the beginning, before when I wasn't getting a lot of views, like just having a friend, having a buddy be on with me and be like, hey, can you be on? I'm doing this Facebook Live and I'm really nervous that no one's going to be on, and I'm going to feel stupid just talking to myself. So, and then, you know, we talked about a little bit like, okay, I'm going to talk on this topic. Can you ask this question or that question? So yeah. All right, guys, I got to run because I have to go to a child teacher parent conference. Like, even something like that, you can talk about, you know, teacher parent conferences and how they make you nervous, or how you're excited for them, or whatever else. Just pretty much anything. So you don't have to have an exciting, like, crazy life, but just talk about your interests. Or, you know, get out there and network, because network marketing, that's what we're in, right? We want to be networking all the time. So get some new interests, get some other kind of hobbies and people into your life and into your network, and then maybe that will become your target audience. Thank you so much for being on. I hope you guys got some tidbits of information in here. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I'd be happy to address them. Thanks, guys.